Hey guys, good morning. This is Stephanie, aka The Limitless Babe, reminding you today and every day that you are limitless. So, before we get started, I just have to rave for a second. Yesterday, I went on, one of my trips to Target, and you know how that goes. Like, anytime I go anywhere, I gotta come home with something for Babe. And yes, I did. Maybe I'll post a picture of it later. I got her the cutest little lemon bathing suit. But while I was there, I said, you know what? I always get something for her. Maybe today you splurge and get something for you. So I actually just got these super cute pajamas. I would stand up, but they're shorts and they're kind of like shorty shorts. But they're super cute. They're so comfortable. They flatter my figure in such a way where, I feel good. And I want to take a moment and talk to you guys because I know that some of you may also be mamas, single mamas, married mamas, any kind of mama. And it's funny how before I had my daughter, I was very big into the cute pajamas. Very big into I loved the silk nightgowns and things like that. I wanted to feel good, I wanted to look good, even if it was just for me. It felt good. And then I would wake up feeling good, and that's how I would start my day, and it was such a wonderful experience. Sorry, I did not shut my alarms off. Let me do that now. So, back on topic. When you wake up feeling good, that's the tone of your day and it's incredible. So, when you have a child, especially in those early months in that early year, I don't know if this is a standing thing, but at least for me, I saw that I was going to bed in whatever clothes I had on during that day because I was just so exhausted, or I would just throw on the nearest sweatshirt and shorts and not care if it didn't match. I wasn't really focusing on me. She has the cutest matching pajamas every night. And I was basically transferring my focus of making sure that I started my day well to making sure that she started her day well. Everything becomes about your child when you have a new baby. And that's how it's supposed to be. Yes, I understand that. And that's great. But I have to say that this morning it felt really good to flip that focus and remember that I also need to start my morning well. And this is something that over the last few months I've been trying to get back into, meditating or doing some form of yoga in the morning or whatever it is that I can get done before she wakes up, or even if she's already awake, just making sure that I take that extra minute to make my coffee a little extra, with a little extra love, right? Which, by the way, I have to share with you guys, I just started doing, I don't know the health benefits because I am not keto. However, you hear all about the bulletproof coffee and how it's supposed to increase focus and energy. And I decided to try it. So I did, I'll admit, I've been doing decaf lately, and I guess some people are like, why even drink coffee if you're going to do decaf? Because I'm Cuban and I love the taste of coffee. So I get my decaf bustelo. And then I have a little powdered keto creamer that has no extra sugar. I put that in. I'll put in half a tablespoon of coconut oil, half a tablespoon of almond butter. And then this is the best part. So I put in cinnamon, cocoa powder, a quarter teaspoon of cocoa powder, and cayenne pepper. That's the trick. Oh my God, guys, it's so good. It tastes so good, and it feels like cafe coffee. It's just delicious. So then you put it all together, but here's the other thing. You blend it, whip it up in your blender, Ninja, whatever you have, and it just comes out so creamy and smooth, and it's just awesome. It's a really nice, delicious way for me to start my day doing something a little extra for me. Because, yeah, you could just pop in the coffee or make a cup of tea and just keep it moving. But this is almost like a ritual. Oh, and I also throw in my Anima Mundi, I think is the name of the brand, happiness adaptogens. So I love that. It has ashwagandha and a bunch of other really great things for your mood and for boosting, just everything. So anyway, I just had to share that because I have my coffee here. By the way, I'm sorry I keep shaking the camera. But yeah, I have my coffee here, so I wanted to share how amazing it is because everybody needs to know this. So anyway, back on topic. Pajamas, I want to start my day off well. And I got to tell you, they're so nice. They're chenille. They feel so good. They're so cute. And I woke up feeling really good this morning. So Shout out Target, and I'll post the link below if you guys want to get yourself a pair. They're really nice and really cute and really functional. And yeah, that's it. So now, onto the topic. Today, I was inspired to talk about obstacles you may hit on your healing journey. Because I think that it's a very in thing to talk about healing and growth and self-discovery, and especially if, like me, you've been through difficult or traumatic situations. One thing that I noticed when I was going through my healing journey is that while it was 90% beneficial, I feel like I'm going to end up taking this back, but we're going to go with it and see where I run. So while it was 90% beneficial, there was 10% that left me open for further abuse from new people. And so I want to touch on that, because I think it's important to understand that depending on what you're going through, if you're going through a journey similar to mine, where you're overcoming abuse, overcoming limiting beliefs, overcoming a lot of things, trying to reconnect with your femininity and your feminine energy. I think a lot of the messages out there are basically talking about how you have to take ownership for your part, which is so true. You do. Someone wrongs you, that's on them. But you also have to take your ownership, because that's the only way. Not because it's a game of who's right and who's wrong. It's simply because that's the only way to understand how this happened and to move past it. To understand how you allowed it, how you accepted it, why you accepted it. So I think that in going through my healing, there were a few things that I was learning about myself, taking ownership for, and that left me a little bit vulnerable. And as a result, I ended up allowing a very toxic person into my life. And, how can I explain this best? The best way I can say it, okay, so for example, let's say, perfect example, I cut myself last week, not yesterday, last Sunday, I think. So I cut myself, and in the process of it healing, before it forms the scab, it's open, right? You have this open wound, okay? And we're treating it with peroxide, with Neosporin, whatever you put on it to keep it clean and to treat it and to help it heal. So let's compare that to, I have this trauma that I went through in my life, and I want to move past it, and I want to heal it. So the only way I can do that, I have to first open up the wound and start taking things out. Right? I have to start taking out all the negative, all the bad, all the things that aren't serving me, all the limiting beliefs. But then I have to put in the ointment. I have to put in all the good, all the affirmations, all the positivity, all the ownership, all the emotional fitness that goes into healing. Correct? But now what I'm left with is still an open wound. And an open wound is susceptible to dirt, infection, bacteria. So let's compare toxic people to dirt, infection, bacteria. Basically, we have now where our skin before was sealed, it was closed, there was no way for anything to penetrate unless it had a needle or a knife. Now we have open flesh that is susceptible to receiving this dirt, bacteria, this garbage, right? And basically in my life, that's what happened. I ended up allowing this very toxic person into my life. And it's not, and like, if you do this, please don't blame yourself. I mean, yes, take ownership, but don't blame yourself, because the reality is that initially toxic people don't parade around the streets waving signs around their head saying, "Hey, I'm toxic." They don't do that. Okay? Their odds are that if they're really toxic, especially if they have some type of a personality disorder, like I've previously discussed, they're probably going to mirror you. They're probably going to say all the right things. They're going to be real charming. They know that they need all that extra stuff to compensate for what's in here. Because if they walked around just showing what's in here, nobody would want anything to do with them. And that's sad. So I just want you to be aware that a toxic person isn't going to walk around looking like a toxic person. In fact, oftentimes they may come to you looking like the person of your dreams, right? Because they're studying you. They're paying attention to how does this person tick? What is this person like? What does this person want to hear? And now that's how they infiltrate. So they infiltrate the wound. And then little by little over time, that mask slips off. And then the infection spreads. So why am I telling you guys this? Because usually I'm all upbeat and positive, and now this is such a sad, sad story. But I'm telling you this because I want you to be one step ahead of the game. If you are going through your journey now, see, I'm always going to be going through my journey. I think that everyone in life is continuing to grow and learn and get better and better and better if they choose to. But if you're just starting out, you have an advantage because you have me helping you. And you have many other amazing people available at your fingertips to help you and to guide you. But I don't know if enough people talk about the fact that when you are going through your journey, you are a little bit more susceptible. And so why do I say that? I say that because during that time where I met that person, like I said, in the beginning, you think that it's the person of your dreams and they are incredible. And wow, like I didn't think someone like this existed. And they're so much like me. They're like the opposite version of me. Whether that's male, female, whatever your partnership style is. But then, like I said, little by little over time, and it usually happens within 2 or 3 months, but there's no rule. Like I said, the mask starts to slip. Every now and then, something's going to happen that is going to jolt you and startle you and scream in your brain and in your heart, this is a red flag. And that happened to me. The first time that something really horrible happened, and I've discussed it in, another video. The first time that happened to me, I knew with every fiber in my being, this is not okay. This is a red flag. But unfortunately, one of the side effects of going through your healing journey, which I still highly recommend, is the fact that there was also extra empathy and compassion in my system, and also a desire to look at the situation from the outside and say, okay, am I reading too much into this? Am I being paranoid? Is this just my limiting beliefs trying to sabotage a good thing? That's literally what I said to myself during that week. Like, you're sabotaging yourself. And then it kind of became a spiral that continued through the duration of our relationship. But like, I continuously told myself, Steph, you're sabotaging a good thing. Stop it. This is you. And obviously, while we all own some part in every situation that we're in retrospect, I realized that I didn't ask for what was happening. I was doing my best to show up as an authentic, best version of myself because I really wanted to have a different experience moving forward. I really wanted to have a different type of relationship as this new and improved, healed person. And basically, I met someone who saw that and wanted to abuse it. I met someone who wanted to take advantage of the space that I was in and basically run rampant doing many things that were abusive, that were not okay, that were not healthy, and then turn around and gaslight and blame me because he knew I would take the ownership. He knew that I was in that place of mindfulness and self-awareness and trying to practice, owning my shit, pardon my language. So he used my spiritual journey against me. And again, I'm just sharing this because I want to warn you guys that if you are going through your spiritual journey, guard your heart. And don't guard your heart in the sense of not putting yourself out there. I want you to put yourself out there. I want you to grow and blossom and live and be fearless and just live your best life. But guard your heart in the sense that when those signs come in of red flags, like this is not okay, dig deeper. Pay a little bit more attention. Understand codependency, because that's something that at the time, even though I had been going through my journey, no one had brought that term up to me, and I didn't fully understand that. And that can cause us to overuse our compassion and empathy muscles to make excuses for bad behavior, to make excuses for toxic, unhealthy behavior. So yeah, I just want you guys to question things a little bit further. If it doesn't feel right, trust your intuition. That's one thing that the toxic person never wants you to do. A toxic person does not want you to have intuition, let alone to trust it. But I got to tell you that in retrospect, hindsight is always 2020. Damn it, there it goes again. I forgot that alarms don't shut off just because you shut your ringer off. But I'm sorry. Let me pull us back. They don't want you to have intuition. They don't. Because when you have your intuition, that's your literally alarms going off, warning you about this person. Like, if we could only remember and understand that we were born perfect. We were born with all the tools that we need. And then it's life and society and conditioning that rips things away and implants things that we don't need. But we're born with this most amazing gift of intuition. So in hindsight, when I look back, every single time that I had a feeling of intuition about this particular person, it was right. And I kept ignoring it and I kept pushing it back. Or I would take action, walk away, and then he would beg for my forgiveness and promise me that it would never happen again. And then the vicious cycle would continue. And of course, again, because I was always, very loving, very compassionate, I always would want someone to offer me that same level of grace that I offer others. So if I want someone to give me a second chance, I felt almost obligated to give this person a second chance. But the reality is that it wasn't a second chance. It was a third chance, a fourth chance, a fifth chance, a sixth chance, an 11th chance. And an apology without changed behavior is manipulation. And if someone is manipulating you, they do not have space in your life. Or they shouldn't. Well, I don't want to say shouldn't because I don't like that word. But there really needs to be no room for manipulation in your life if a healing journey is what you want. If, a path of healthy relationships and self-love is what you want, manipulation can't exist there. And so that's why I say, the 90-10% about how it was 90% positive, 10% a little dangerous. But now I do want to come back for a second, which I said I would, and acknowledge that although, and this is just my experience, so what I just shared with you guys was in hopes of helping someone prevent that situation. But now if you're like me and the situation has already happened, that's okay. Do you know why that's okay? Because difficulty, trauma, and adversity are what build your strength and your character. So while I could sit here and be devastated or upset or beat myself up for letting a toxic person into my life, what I can do instead, how I can shift that perspective and that mindset, is to realize that that person, through everything they do to hurt me, has actually made me a stronger person. And it's true. And maybe not immediately. There was a time where I was almost in this space of like rejecting, like I just didn't want to deal with it. I didn't want to acknowledge it. I wanted to run away from the problem and I didn't want to deal. But unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, fortunately, I suppose, the universe, God, source has other plans. And while I don't believe that God wants bad things to happen to us or creates bad situations for us because we have free will, I do believe that when we are in a situation, He can take any situation and use it for our good. And that's what I think He did in this particular situation. And it's so funny because during the time that I was with this person, every day I prayed for two things. And one of those things was strength. And isn't that interesting? Like, I'm in a relationship that is supposed to make my life better, not worse. Not that you need a relationship to make your life better, but if you're going to have someone added to your life, it should improve your life. It shouldn't make it worse. So I'm in this relationship where I should be happy most of the time. I should be in love most of the time. And yet, most of the time, I have to pray for strength. That should have been another huge red flag. But no prayer goes unanswered. Whether the answer is yes, no, maybe, whatever it is, no prayer goes unanswered. And I realize now in retrospect, looking backwards, that God used that person. All the ways that that person has and continues to try to make my life difficult. To create in me an unshakable strength. In the beginning, it was really hard. Like I said, I tried to almost run away from it. I didn't want to deal with it. I just almost just rejected it. Like I did not want to see it or accept it for what it was. And now I see that every challenge that comes my way, I'm growing more and more as a solid person. And a person that's able to just be respectful and keep my center about myself while this other person tries to shake the ground I'm standing on. You can't shake the ground I'm standing on because I'm solid. I got this. I love myself so much more than any satisfaction I could ever get from putting you in your place. And I don't need to put you in your place because you know what you did. You know who you are. You know that I didn't deserve any of that. And now, you know that I'm rising above it. I'm not going to deal with it. So bring on the chaos. Bring on the nonsense. I'm unshakable. It feels really good to say, guys. It feels so good to say it because it's true. No one can steal your peace without your permission. No one can disrupt your life without God, source, the universe, again, whoever you believe in, without them finding a way to use it for your benefit. So relax, surrender, and accept that every single thing is for your benefit. And even though in the beginning I said that letting that person into my open wounds was 10% negative. Was it though? Because I kind of love this person that I've become. Now, do I, on the side, kind of envy people that have just had peaceful, blissful, calm lives? Yeah, I do. And not envy in like a bad, ugly way, but envy in the way that like, I just think that's so amazing. And I think that they are very fortunate and blessed. And I would love to know what that feels like. But I recognize that God has other plans for me. that I'm supposed to help other people through situations. And how can I help someone if I don't understand? How can I fulfill my purpose if I haven't been down that road and had to claw my way back to the top? So while my journey may not have been pretty, it was still a beautiful one. And I hope that if your journey is difficult right now, or if it's been difficult, I don't know why I'm so emotional right now, but I feel it. If your journey has been difficult, just know that if you continue to do the work, and that's another point I want to talk about. If you continue to do the work, if you continue to push and you continue to heal, you're going to be able to shift your mindset too and see the beauty in it. So why I just said I want to go back to that. Like, I love when those thoughts just spark. Another point that I want to quickly make before I wrap up is that when we are trying to heal ourselves and break generational curses and just do better for our family and for our lives, the enemy, whatever you call him, does not like that. The evil in the world does not like to see you do better, to see you grow. That toxic person that's trying to mess with you, they don't want to see you grow. They want to take you down to their level because they're unhappy. Because they're dealing with their own internal demons that they try to hide and mask and pretend that they don't exist. But clearly, if someone is being that nasty and ugly, they've got some demons in there. So a lot of times, these challenges and this adversity comes at us to test us and to see, can I knock you off your path? Oh, you think you're so good? You think that you're doing better? You think that you're going to make this world a better place? Let me knock you off your path and see if you still want to continue. Please continue. I am urging you today that if you feel like you're at that crossroads where you almost feel like giving up and saying, well, what's the point? Like, this person's so awful and they keep getting their way somehow and I don't understand. Like, I'm just trying my best to do good and to be a light in this world. Don't take the bait. Because on the other side, I promise you, nothing feels better than knowing that you've lived your life with integrity. Keep going. You got this. I am going to close out and finish my delicious, wonderful coffee and my cozy, wonderful pajamas. But I just want to let you know that I am sending you so much love. If you are on your healing journey, if you are about to start your healing journey, if you've been through it, if you don't even know what a healing journey is and you're curious, if you're just here to hang out because you have nothing better to do during this time and you just like hearing my voice, whatever it is, I'm sending you so much love. I am just recognizing that you're not alone and you've got this and great things are coming. Stay focused. Love you guys. Bye.